Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Putt.
Morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Glad that you could be here yet again today. Today's the 15th day of September 2016. Our sun sign is still in Virgo. It's going to be in Virgo for one more week. And our moon sign currently is in Pisces. So just a reminder, refresher here. Virgo represented in the tarot cards by the Hermit. The Hermit is the one who goes off in solitude to gain wisdom. And then once gaining the wisdom represented by the light, the hermit brings that light forward to shine for others to see. Okay, so the hermit is providing a service. The hermit is teaching. So that's the phase that we're in. It's an earth sign reminding us that we need to be patient on the earth because things move according to a certain pace here on the earth. In the physical reality, we're moving according to a linear timeline. Therefore, we have to be patient because everything moves according to its time when it's supposed to arrive, okay? So we can't rush things. We have to be patient. There's a timing to things. And then our moon sign is the card of the moon, okay, which is Pisces. Pisces is telling us we're going into the unknown. And when we go into the unknown, our emotions can get affected quite a bit because we feel uncertain about what's happening. We don't understand. So we're feeling uncertain. It's a water sign. It's all about feelings. So as we pass the pillars and go into the unknown territory, we have to find some way in order to maintain our sense of feeling good about what we're doing. The way we do it is through faith. The faith is understanding that there is something guiding us along that path. And if we have faith that we are being guided along the path, then we understand that everything that is happening for a reason and is happening according to the timing that needs to occur. So we just need to kind of ease off the afterburners down here, be patient about what is happening, and just trust the process, okay? Trust the process that's going on. There's a lot taking place in the world. A lot of people are feeling uncertain because we don't know what's going to happen. And that's the way we deal with it, by just having faith. Having faith in what is going on, that we are being led along a path, that we're being guided. Now, the aspects we're looking at over the course of today, we have our sun has been in an opposition with Chiron. So there's an aspect of healing that needs to be dealt with. The hermits, this opposition is like a teeter-totter, as you can see. You have one side, you've got the hermit, Virgo, which is an earth, and the other side, you've got the aspect of ourself that needs to be healed. And so while they are working together, though in opposition, they're balancing each other out. Okay, the hermit is applying wisdom and information to help with the healing that needs to take place within ourselves. And then as we move forward, 2:45 p.m., we're encouraged to take a new perspective on things because Pisces is in a conjunction. Conjunction means they're right next to each other in the same house. They're having a conversation, so to speak. And in this regard, the conversation is all about how to look at things from a different perspective as we are walking into the unknown realms. And Neptune here, which is the sign, is also a water sign. So it says when we're walking in the water, look at things differently. Get a different perspective on what's going on so we maybe have a new way of understanding the process that's unfolding before us. 3:25 p.m., Saturn becomes squared with Pisces. Saturn again is discipline, focus. So we need to focus that energy. We need to focus our feelings so they don't get out of control with us being overwhelmed. Then we go to this evening, 10:35 p.m. Pluto is going to bring some deep transformation to everything. So as we've gone through this day, looking at things from a new perspective, focusing, disciplining our feelings, we now get to the point where we start to feel the transformation from it because we've gone through a whole day, a whole opportunity to really feel those things. And then 10:55 p.m., Mars jumps back in the mix. And just like we started off at the beginning dealing with Chiron, Chiron's back again. So Mars wants to energize all of what we've experienced, kind of a testing phase to see, have we healed what we needed to heal? So we have that wall there, a lesson, something to learn as we're re-energized. Are we re-energized and are we healed? Are we on the path to recovery from that, or do we still have more that we need to deal with? And as you can see, we have a lunar eclipse coming up tomorrow. Full moon lunar eclipse. So lunar eclipses are always an intense energy. We had an eclipse with the new moon, and now we have the full moon eclipse. So I'll be telling you more about that tomorrow. So just buckle your seatbelts, my friend. Things are changing all around us. Moon phase is 98.1% of the way full, making its way up to that full moon, which will be here tomorrow at just a few minutes past noon. On the Jewish calendar, today is the 12th day of the month of Elul, Elul being the month of forgiveness, learning to forgive ourselves, learning to go inside to introspect what it is that we have done, letting go, finding the way to heal, because we're moving towards, as you can see here, we're moving towards a new month. Okay, when we get to down here over the next couple weeks, we're going to change into, here we have the 28th. So shortly past this, once it gets into October, now we're going to be going into the next moon or the next phase on the Jewish calendar, which is the new year. So this is the last day, the last month, of the year on the Jewish calendar, and then we begin the new year. The daily thought for today is childish enthusiasm. A child's enthusiasm comes in a storm, taking over the child's entire world, so that when a child embraces a new, good way of being, it enters forever and nothing can ever take it away. Okay, it's important. We need to remain childlike. Jesus told us we have to be like a child to enter the kingdom. There's some wisdom within that we need to understand. We need to look at how does a child look at the world. Look at the world from a place of innocence. Look at the world through a place of possibility. A child knows the truth from a lie. We can tell very easily what's going on. And finally, space weather, the solar wind is 294.9 kilometers per second. Planetary K index, quiet, but we'll get up to a 3 over the next 24 hours, so a little increase in activity. The coronal holes pretty much subsided over. Notification that we will be feeling some effect around the 16th, 17th. M-class flare possibility and X-class both at 1%. Geomagnetic storm activity seems to be stable as well. 10% mid-latitudes, 15% upper latitudes. And there you go. So that's our cosmic weather for today. So that's the energy we're dealing with. Remember, we're working and we're moving in a field of energy. A field of energy that is affected by the earth below us and the atmosphere above us. Whether you know of that as the ionosphere, whether you understand it as the dome that's over us, the firmament, whatever the case may be, between the top and the bottom, we're in that middle field. And that middle field is an energetic field. And that energetic field is fueled by a lot of energy all around it, from planets, from the stars, from each and every one of us, because the energy enters us, we receive it, and then we put it back out. So as we are thinking things, as we are feeling things, those thoughts and those feelings go into this energy field and they affect other things as well. So if we're thinking positively, we can positively affect everything that's going on. So that's how, by just thinking in a certain way, we can make a huge effect on what takes place. And that's why it's important during these times to really get a hold of our feelings. Think of Star Wars. It said, stretch out with your feelings, Luke. We have to use them. They're very, very powerful, and we can't let them control us because, trust me, you and I both know that there's many ways that there are those trying to use your feelings against you in all sorts of ways, from the advertisements that are shown to get us to buy things, to the media that's getting to believe things, to the politicians who say things to get us to believe what they are saying. They're all trying to reach into our feelings. So we're very responsible, each and one of us, on how we could deal with that, because we are feeding this field of energy that we're in. So we're still focusing on the earth, being patient, understanding the timings of things with Virgo, but the underlying nature is we want to have faith because we're being guided somewhere. There are good things taking place. All right? All right. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. Today I've got 4 stories for us. The first story comes to us from Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City says a fleet of UFOs were seen over Salt Lake City during sunset, August 11th. Okay, we can see one right here in the middle of the screen. So submitted to MUFON. It says these photos reveal a dark disk over Salt Lake City last month. The disk was seen alone, then with several others, and then alone again. That's how cloaking devices work. It was seen right after sunset when the cloaks of the ships are most vulnerable. That is when they saw many. Later there was just one. Aliens do this for several reasons. One, they want to scout up ahead that is being watched by humans so that others won't see if their cloak is not working. And 2, they want to feel the reactions of those who see it so they know what precautions they must take next to ensure that they don't frighten humans. Okay, the key word here, they want to feel. Okay, they want to see and feel the reactions, to feel what is going on. So feelings are important. They can feel what's taking place. Okay, here's this, and we seem to have some up here that are uncloaked. Eyewitness says my family and I were driving up Interstate 15 in Utah just south of Salt Lake City. I was the first to notice a black object in the sky which seemed to be about 3 miles away, about 1,500 feet off the ground. I made a joke to my boys to look. There was a UFO. My sister said, it's just a cloud, to which I responded, I know, I'm just trying to trick the boys. I did think it was weird that there was a single black cloud low in the sky and not all that far away. We watched it for a few minutes, still talking about it, going back and forth whether it was a cloud, because we got closer, so it seemed more defined edges and solid. I decided to take pictures, half thinking that I was just taking pictures of a single solid black cloud. The pictures did not turn out well because it was with a cell phone a little past sunset and zoomed to the max. After taking several pics and looking through them, I looked up and there were now 3 black classic UFO shapes, then 2, and then 1 again. I did not see them separate or come back together, if that is in fact how they became 3 and then 1. It was then seemed to pick up speed, continued north towards Ogden. Within seconds, it was gone. My brother and I both thought that the object was about 500 yards across and about half that tall. When we first were not excited about what we were watching, but slowly realized it was no cloud, and then there were three horizontally, evenly spaced apart, about 600 yards. We became real excited, and the kids a little scared. I don't know what it was, but I know it was unusual. There was never a light on the objects, just black. Okay? Very interesting. Next, we're going to take a look up at the sun. This was on the 11th. It says footage of a giant UFO recorded near the Earth's sun. All right, there is the object in question there, just to the left. What is it? I don't know. What's it doing there? I don't know. Could be gathering energy from the sun itself, fueling up. Could be somehow affecting what's going on with the flare or this burst from the sun. Or it could just be hanging out. Any and all possibilities exist. All right, now we go over to Arizona. UFO makes multiple debuts in one night. Witness says, I really don't know where to start with describing this experience. Not only did I witness what happens to be a UFO, but the object appears and disappears 5 different times within a 3-hour time span. Below, each sighting broken down along with multiple video recordings. Sightings 18, 19, and 20. No video. The first event occurred east of Chandler, Arizona, where I, along with 2 of my friends, noticed extremely bright light radiating in the sky around 9:15 Pacific Standard Time. As we positioned ourselves to better see what was going on, we noticed smaller lights below the larger one in the shape of an equilateral triangle. After a few minutes of hovering without the movement, the light on the bottom left disappears, followed by a bottom right light, leaving only the larger light, which slowly begins moving, creeping towards the west until it too disappeared after a minute. Unfortunately, we did not think to record the first ever since it was an absolute awe over what we just saw. That is until 1 hour later when it returned. The following is a description of each video I recorded, along with timestamps for verification. Okay. It says I recorded the 2 videos of the second sighting. Unfortunately, I did a fairly poor job recording this particular event, but I have 2 videos, and even number 2 where you can definitely see the objects. Sighting number 3. Okay, this is where you can really start seeing the weird stuff that's going down. You can see in the beginning a plane overhead, clearly moving faster and with the lights blinking just like a normal plane. Yet the object below is either hovering or just moving slowly to the west at 56-second mark. I zoomed into the object, but the craziest part was that at 1:04, when the lights flash and then changes from a whole orb into an eerie donut-shaped circle. All right, so we see right in the middle of the screen the object. Looks to be like there's a couple of lights there. Okay. And then finally, let's move over to the last story, UFO related for today. It says a famous author says aliens have something to do with cattle mutilation. There's an object. I don't know if that's a cattle or something else, but whatever it is, looks kind of strange. Jeering public and skeptical authorities buried UFO sightings, disclosed Ben Mesrick, an acclaimed author of books that were the base for Oscar-winning movies The Social Network in 21. Flashing lights and mysterious movies are creating waves and catching attention virtually everywhere as UFOs are becoming the eye candy. However, believers appear to be lesser in the number when compared to disbelievers. Every time an apparent alien being observed in the skies, there's always a debate on whether they are indeed UFOs or just birds with an ordinary aircraft. Ben Mesrick's latest book, The 37th Parallel, could literally make waves in the UFO community. According to Mesrick, cattle mutilation is one of many pieces of evidence about aliens. He wrote that there have been many more than 10,000 horses and cows that have been found without life, mutilated over the past 70 years. These mutilated animals left dying on their sides with organs being removed through what Mesrick describes as precise circular wounds. The mutilated animals have missing lungs, tongues, eyes, and hearts, and according to Mesrick, this isn't even the worst part. Nearly all carcasses have been recovered completely drained of blood, Mesrick wrote. All right, so very strange what is going on there. Maybe they're doing some sort of experiments, seems to be. Maybe they get tired of eating space food up there on the ships. Maybe they want to have a barbecues in the same way that we like to barbecue cows down here. You know, who knows? All kind of possibilities exist. I don't know the answer. I just think it's weird, as I'm sure you do as well. And that is our UFO news for today. Stay tuned. I'll be back.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing, but they're losing from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, Big Brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What if I land and two if I see? And I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
All right, continuing on. So there's a reason why I play that song, Wake Up, because many people are asleep, sleepwalking through life, not paying attention to what's going on. And when that happens, well, bad things happen. So we need to wake up to the reality. And I think more and more people are waking up every day as they are seeing the illusion revealing itself. People are seeing through the illusion that is being painted before them. Now, part of what has really helped this is that there have been those whistleblowers, there have been hackers, and those who have released information and are showing us that there's things taking place that we need to really be aware of. Things that are, well, Very important to know because they've been hidden, but now once they're being brought to light, now we get to see the truth. And here is some of this information. We had another leak. Guccifer leak is finally here. Hillary and the Dems are finished is the article. It says this leak is huge. The amount of weight this will carry in the current political battlefield is undeniable and will shake the Democratic Party to its core. The details of this report are extensive. However, the gravity of what has just happened cannot be bound to a single post. We will continue to keep you updated as the situation develops rapidly. We are quite possibly looking at the email dump that could cause the biggest shakeup yet in this election, and WikiLeaks has not even released anything in quite some time like they did back in July. These new revelations confirm that the DNC operated more like a crime organization than we knew. The leaks in July were nothing compared to the severity of documents released on September 14, 2016. We now have clear evidence of pay for play, possible insider trading, Huma Abedin joking in emails about Benghazi, and more. The DNC brought and sold more political influence than one could ever imagine. They have proven to be nothing more than a gigantic money laundering organization that provides corporate jobs for the highest donor, and many emails prove that below. This leak is overwhelming, and we will list the findings thus far in a condensed fashion that is easily digestible. All right, so here are some of the highlights that are within these emails, within this dump. And as you can see, a number of them have been tweeted out. So what you can do as you are looking at this information here, if you click on these particular links, they're all set up, ready to go to Twitter. You can click on them and you can just tweet them right out. Tweet them right out, help spread the word, because the mainstream media is not going to talk about this. Mainstream media is bought and sold. We know that. It's unfortunate it's going on. They need to wake up because right now they're sleepwalking through life. I don't know what it is that the media is thinking. Maybe they think that they're immune from all of these lies that are taking place. Maybe they're concerned about their jobs and they're thinking more about that than they are about what would happen if the wrong person gets in power. But all we have to do is look at this information and realize there is something very seriously wrong with this whole situation here. So let's take a look at some of these things that were in here. First, Obama did create ISIS. When Trump made the claim that Obama and Hillary were the founders of ISIS, he was not lying. WikiLeaks proved that with a memo weeks ago. Click on the link right there to see the WikiLeaks. And now we have emails and documents from the DCCC proving the exact same thing. Democrats cannot deny something that they wrote themselves, and they wrote this memo. So you got the link right here. So if you just click upon these little links within here, it'll take you to the actual document itself. So let me click over here just so you can see what happens. Okay, and it clicks you over to the various emails talking about, all right. And so all you need to do is just click on those particular email links and it will take you, and then you can go ahead and continue to Twitter it out. So we've got one email acknowledging they created ISIS by creating a void of what they were doing. Here we have another one. This one is absolutely ridiculous and unbelievable in the way they go ahead and are trying to remedy a situation. Democrats realized that they were hacked. And after they realized that they were hacked, they knew that they needed to get the information out to others. So what did they do? They went and used the system that was hacked to send out new passwords to other members of the DNC. Take a moment to let that sink in. The system of emails was hacked, and so they decided to send through their email system the new password. Okay? I know you can't fix stupid. You just can't fix stupid, and why would you do that? If the system was hacked, if the emails were hacked, that means you don't send anything further sensitive through there until you close up the leak and know what's going on. Apparently, they don't have very much sense over there because they decided to go ahead and send their new passwords through there, admitting they were compromised, then emailing a new password. All right, here's Colin Powell. We have emails talking about Hillary tried to use Colin Powell as the fall guy for her private unsecured email server. As if two wrongs make a right. But Powell in his email voiced clear concerns for Hillary to a major donor. Jeffrey Leeds emailed that Hillary could barely climb the podium, while Colin Powell described how bad she looked after her busy schedule of collecting millions from other corrupt cronies. Says she's got trouble too. No one likes her, and the criminal thing ain't over. I don't think the president would weep if she found herself in real legal trouble. She'll pummel his legacy if he gets a chance, and he knows it. Okay. Now, protests that have been staged. Everyone is well aware of the liberal kingpin George Soros paying groups to protest and cause problems. Well, apparently the DNC did the exact same thing. In this document below, it shows that the DNC sent their interns to stage protests when Soros could not send out his own mob of goons to do the damage. Okay, so George Soros was sending out people to go and protest. Sometimes they couldn't make it, so the DNC would continue by sending out their interns, and they would stage protests. These stage protests were done to elicit media coverage and to change the narrative on stories, like the Black Lives Matter events that were taking place, the Trump rally, sending people out there. More emails have revealed the DNC and George Soros were behind the paid protesters that were disrupting Donald Trump months back. Have you seen the protesters causing problems today like they did before? No, because the DNC hasn't ordered them to protest lately. Why? Because it's been discovered. These leaks are very helpful to revealing lies that are taking place. Here we have pay-for-play schemes. Years back, Rod Blagojevich, the Illinois governor, was sentenced to 14 years in prison for trying to sell Barack Obama's empty Senate seat. Well, in this email below, you will see Jacqueline Lopez using the words pay to play as a way to describe the donations sent to Obama for America, which is now organizing for America. But wait, we can also see the ambassadors are up for grabs too, and if you are the highest bidder, by the way, this is insanely illegal. So here we have stories of 1, 2, 3, 4 different people. Okay, the Assistant Attorney General, U.S. Ambassador to France and Monaco, the Chairman of the FCC. Okay, what you'll find as you follow these and read the stories, each one of them put up a large donation, and then for that large donation, they were given positions of power. The Chairman of the FCC, because he put up a big donation, the Assistant Attorney General, because she put up a big donation. Donations are meant to be that you donate to a cause. You're not supposed to be rewarded for the donations by the organization by then hiring you to a position of power. That's called corruption. Ambassadors, U.S. Ambassador to France and Monaco, it's called corruption, collusion, pay to play. They're paying money in order to pay for a position, to pay their way in. They're not getting in the normal way. It's cheating. Okay? And the DNC is doing plenty of that. Now we have Benghazi. Huma Abedin jokes in email about Benghazi. This is arguably the hardest punch in the gut. We all remember that Hillary and her goons blamed Benghazi on a video to protest as opposed to taking any blame. Well, here's an email from Huma Abedin's which is Hillary's top aide, joking about Hillary sparking peaceful protests. Look at the date stamp. The email was the same day that she attended the coffin ceremony for the 4 Americans that she left to die in Benghazi. This happened the exact same day Hillary lied to the faces of the families that lost their loved ones in Benghazi. So they're laughing about it. They think it's funny, right? I don't think it's funny. Election fraud. Early voting is designed to skew elections in Dems' favor. North Carolina used as a laboratory. This is quite possibly the most damaging leak yet to come out, but we are only getting started. The latest dump will be the last punch Hillary and the Democrats can take. Imagine how damaging all of this is so far. Okay? So, it's quite a lot in this dump. When it first came out the other day, it took a while to download. It's a huge, huge file. The file itself was like nearly 700 megabytes just to download it. And then once you downloaded it, it was compressed. There was there was about half a dozen compressed files in there, maybe more than that. And by the time you got done uncompressing them, there was well over a gig, almost 2 gigabytes of information of files that were in there. A lot of information. People are just going through them. Now, these are the leaks that came out from Guccifer, okay, the Guccifer group that is putting this out there. These aren't all the Julian Assange ones. He has a whole nother set of things relating directly to Hillary. So there's big problems for Hillary. Question is, who is going to wake up to see this? Are people going to wake up? Because if the people wake up to realize this is going on, this can end. It's up to the people at this point, okay? The people that are corrupt, they're not going to come clean on this. That's why they're being corrupt, in order to continue doing these things without the people knowing. But the people are finding out. Just like people are questioning what happened with Hillary after she had her episode the other day. Did she have a seizure there at the curb? Or I proposed the idea that maybe she was arrested. Then I don't know what the case is, but something weird happened there at the curb. The other ideas are that the body double came out after the fact. So we haven't seen Hillary. She's supposed to be out today campaigning, but we don't know what we're going to see there. Supposedly they're going to televise this, but are they going to be on some sort of delay in case something happens? Again, I don't know what the media is thinking. Do they think they're immune from all of the problems that are going to go on? If Hillary lets more people into the country that are coming from areas where there is extreme terrorism, and these people come into the country, do these journalists think that they're immune from any of these refugee terrorists hurting them? Maybe they think they're immune. Maybe they think that, somehow or another they're not going to be caught up in all of this. And, well, again, you can't fix stupid. And if that's what they believe, then they're sadly mistaken. Now, we were told the other day that Hillary has pneumonia. But this article here at the Washington Post tells us that she may not recover from it until late October. I'm not a doctor, so many readers have helpfully pointed out to me that over the past 72 hours, so I reached out to a real doctor to get some answers about Hillary Clinton's pneumonia diagnosis and what might mean for her presidential campaign. Dr. Stephen Simpson, the medical director of the Division of Pulmonary and Critical Care at the University of Kansas Hospital, is that real doctor. Our conversation below, conducted via email and edited only for grammar and flow, is below. Okay, Hillary Clinton's campaign, she was overheated to an extent to an event Sunday and appeared to be somewhat unsteady on her feet. Are symptoms like this consistent with a diagnosis of pneumonia, which she received 48 hours earlier? The doctor says these symptoms and signs are absolutely consistent with a diagnosis of pneumonia. Overheated may well mean that she had a fever. Although it's difficult to say, pneumonia is commonly associated with intravascular volume depletion, or more precisely, causes intravascular volume depletion. Fix, what is exactly the medical description of pneumonia? How does it affect the body? He says pneumonia is an infection involving the parenchyma, the alveolar air sacs of the lungs, along with the inflammation of the immune cell activation that causes some injury to lung tissue. If localizes, it causes some impairment of the ability of the lungs to remove oxygen from the air and place it into the red blood cells. Generally, there are systemic body-wide symptoms such as fever, loss of appetite, muscle aches, as well as more local symptoms such as blood, cough, sputum production, which is sometimes streaked with blood. Okay. Little examples of this. He said, are there different types of pneumonia? Some people are hospitalized, others seem to handle it more easily. He said, yes, there are different types, mostly related to the organism that is invading Bacterial pneumonia typically causes the symptoms are listed above. Viral pneumonia, such as influenza, can also make a patient seriously ill, but are not typically associated with the chest pain. They tend to be more diffuse rather than localized to a particular area of the lung. All right. Says, what is the prognosis? How long is the typical recovery? He says, men and women 65 years of age and up, both presidential candidates, are particularly susceptible to pneumonia, which is a very common cause of death among the elderly. However, the prognosis for pneumonia that does not require hospitalization is quite good, although a person of this age should be able to function to do their job within a few days. If they take adequate rest and recuperate longer, if they try to work through it, it generally takes 4 to 6 weeks. All right, so I'm going to leave the rest for you to go over. But the Washington Post has traditionally been in Hillary's, corner, and they're putting out information saying that 4 to 6 weeks, from this doctor. Well, are they starting to give hints that Hillary may find different excuses for not attending certain events? Certainly seems that would be the case. Now, one thing that's very evident in this is Hillary keeps using the excuse over and over and over again that she was dehydrated. Doesn't this woman know how to drink water? Doesn't she know that when she gets dehydrated, and she only remembered 2 times the other day when she was asked during this conversation with Anderson Cooper, she could only recall 2 times, but the public record shows that it's well more than that. She doesn't know how to drink water to take care of herself. Therefore, we can say that this isn't very good judgment, and another reason to be concerned about this. Here we have a Dr. Milton Wolf commenting on Hillary's test that she took, but he claims that this test that she supposedly got a perfect score on doesn't even exist. Dr. Wolf is a board-certified diagnostic radiologist and is President Barack Obama's second cousin once removed. He tweets out, ever-changing Hillary's story. She's fine, just a cough, allergies, overheated, dehydration, pneumonia. And these still don't explain brain, blood clots, neurological deficits, long-term Coumadin, today's van episode. Dr. Wolf concluded that there's no need for wild speculation or sensationalization. Hillary's health problems are knowable and highly significant. This is my wheelhouse. Tonight he responded to Hillary doctor's report. He said Hillary's doctor just claimed Hillary had a perfect score on a test that doesn't even exist. He said, how to summarize Hillary's health in one sentence? Hillary's doctor just claimed Hillary had a perfect score on a test that does not exist. He goes on to explain why that is. He says, doctors talking about she had a non-contrast chest CT scan, including a CTA calcium score performed. And he goes on to say that a CTA is a CT or CAT scan angiogram. It always requires contrast, always. It cannot be included in a non-contrast CT scan. He said, in fact, there's no such thing as a CTA calcium score study or of the coronary arteries. This must be non-contrast. Okay, so we've got more than that. Again, it looks like somebody is lying. And can you believe that? Can you believe that someone in the Hillary camp is lying? A doctor to boot. So if this doctor's lying, well, this doctor should have her medical license removed. But par for the course with Hillary's team, that there's liars. But these are the things that are being exposed. Okay? Lies can't keep going on. Eventually, the lies will end. Why? Because people are waking up. When people are asleep, it's easy for the lies to get by. The reason that these lies are being discovered is people are waking up and saying, something is wrong. You're not making any sense. You're telling me lies over and over and over again. We know she lied about Benghazi. We know she's lied about the emails multiple times. We know she's lied about their health because we were told that everything was okay. health was fine, and then she has an incident, and now they say, oh, well, she did have pneumonia, but we just didn't tell you. Okay, well, there's another lie, and now these lies, it's one continual lie after another. And we can see how deep it goes through the emails that were presented from the Guccifer, that these lies affect the whole DNC. Not only the whole DNC, but it also gets into other areas, Department of Justice, the FBI. Here we have a real traitor, Comey. Comey should be in jail for aiding and abetting. And this guy comes out now and he's saying FBI Director James Comey lamented on Wednesday that the loss of public trust in government institutions like the one he runs, and blamed echo chambers like Twitter for making his job more difficult. My children again disciplined me not to go on Twitter because apparently people say bad things about me on Twitter. But things like Twitter offer us the opportunity only to encounter views consistent with our own 24 hours a day. Comey explained to the Center for Strategic and International Studies event Wednesday. There's an opportunity to feed that monster of bias, that confirmation bias, all the time. So it accelerates the fractionalization of our society. It makes it much more harder for people like me and like you, like the people in here, to speak reason to folks about our institutions. James Comey, James is trying to blame Twitter for why people have a lack of confidence in their organization. No, James Comey, it's not Twitter that is the reason why we have lack of confidence. It's because you portrayed the information in a way that shows us a lack of confidence. Okay, has nothing to do with Twitter. Twitter is simply reporting the fact that you lied. Now that you've been caught in a lie, and we know that you worked with the Clinton Foundation, we know that you're connected and in bed with their organization for years. Maybe you're afraid of being put on her hit list, and maybe that's why you're continuing to lie, in which case that makes you a sniveling coward. Whatever the case may be, it wasn't Twitter, James Comey, that has us suspicious about the FBI. It's you and your behavior. So quit lying to the people, and maybe we'll have a different understanding. But in the meantime, you're tearing apart the FBI. You're destroying any sort of reputation. And I don't know why there aren't others in the FBI that are taking charge and, arresting you for anything. Maybe there's that much corruption in the FBI. I don't know. But it just seems kind of weird. I would think that there would be others in there who have spent a long time, made a career out of being in the FBI, that would be pretty upset by all of this. Time will tell, but as people are waking up, things will happen. Speaking of waking up, just want to mention one of the comments the other night, 2 nights ago, Jimmy Kimmel made, and we know that he a couple of weeks ago had Hillary on doing the pickle test, opening the jar of pickles, which some have claimed was already pre-opened, and so Hillary opened it and proclaimed Hillary's healthy, she could open the pickles. Well, yesterday he made a comment, or the day before yesterday he made a comment that these conspiracy theories would be harder to believe if they didn't keep coming true. So hopefully he's opening his eyes and understanding the lies that are going on. And all of these Hollywood types that go out there and support this, if you would just realize you're being used, okay? Hillary refers to you as useful idiots because she knows that you're uninformed. She knows that you take money to simply read a script, and so you are provided with scripts in order to go out to say what they want you to say, like you're nothing more than a puppet. If you don't want to be used anymore, then wake up. Quit being used. Otherwise, you're just like they said, nothing more than a useful idiot. So quit being useful idiots out there, Hollywood types. Open your eyes. See that you're being used. Story, this is something that I mentioned is in these documents as well. Obama's connection to ISIS start getting, that ISIS came about through his bad judgments and decisions. Here we have DHS whistleblower is asking the question, why does Obama form alliance with the Muslim Brotherhood? Got a nice long article about it. As a Customs and Border Protection officer, Philip Haney knew that the Obama administration was growing close to leaders of seven Muslim Brotherhood front groups in the United States. He knew that in July 2010, Secretary of Homeland Security Janet Napolitano met with several American Muslim leaders, including leaders of two Muslim Brotherhood front groups and another Muslim Brotherhood affiliate. The meeting was even hosted by the Office of Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, which allowed attendees to help develop the nation's counterterrorism policy. But why would the administration willingly partner with the Muslim Brotherhood or its affiliates? Well, that's a good question. I'm going to leave you the rest of the article. I'm going to tell you why. Because Obama is a Muslim. Obama is in office in order to destroy America. He came in and said that he was going to change the fundamentals, and he has attacked every fundamental value of this country. He has been connected with the Muslim Brotherhood from day one that he entered the office. I'm sure they're laughing, thinking how stupid America is that we've allowed a member of their organization into our office of the presidency, and he is doing everything he can to tear this country apart. And he's doing it in a passive-aggressive way because people have been asleep. That's why it's so important to wake up. So important to wake up. Now, if we had a press, the media that was a bit more for the people as opposed to against the people, that would really make all the difference. It used to be that we would consider the press as the fifth estate, that they would go out and they would provide checks and balances against all of these different politicians. But that's not the case anymore because they've been paid off. We have CNN, which we now refer to as the Clinton News Network. We have MSNBC, which is so biased for Clinton. And then we have Fox News, who we know, Megyn Kelly. Come on, Megyn Kelly's completely for Clinton. She's, a wolf in sheep's clothing. We have many there, that Brett Baer, Chris Wallace, those who were part of the team. The document was out, or the story was out about Rupert Murdoch putting together a team of people to oppose Trump to take him down. Remember, I like to describe the media as sheepdog. They all may look different, so we think, oh, they all are different. They behave a little differently. Maybe their barks, sound different. One's high-pitched, one's low-pitched, one's medium-pitched. We think that they're all different because they have a different style, but they're all rounding up the sheep, and they're all leading them to the same pen. And that's the trick of things. So the media is in collusion with all of this corruption that goes on, and many of them should be in jail as well for what they're doing. Here's a recent article that a major pollster has some stark news. American trust and confidence in the mass media to report the news fully, accurately, and fairly has dropped to its lowest level. Gallup polling history, with 32% saying that they have a great deal or fair amount of trust in the media. That is down 8 percentage points from last year, writes Art Swift, an analyst for the Gallup poll, which first asked the nation to weigh in on the press. Over the history of the entire trend, American trust and confidence hit its highest point in 72% in the wake of the widely lauded examples of investigative journalism regarding Vietnam and the Watergate scandal, Mr. Swift said. The sentiment has fallen slowly and steadily and is consistently seen below a majority level since 2007. Republicans who have trust in the media have plummeted 14% from 32% a year ago. This easily is the lowest confidence among Republicans in 20 years. Among Democrats, the number is 51%, and amongst independents, 30%. So Democrats, as we can see here, are the most trusting. As I've said over and over, liberalism is a mental disorder. All we have to do is talk to anybody that is a liberal, and we could see really quickly that their minds are disconnected from the reality of what is going on. The other day, Mark Dice was out at the beach doing his And if you haven't seen Mark, guys, you can look him up on YouTube. He does a lot of really interesting videos down at the beach there in San Diego where he interviews people and he asks them questions about what's going on. Half the people are clueless about what's going on in the world, but the most recent ones he was asking, and obviously you could tell he was talking to a lot of liberal-minded individuals. He was talking to them and about how the Trump kids who like to hunt were out and how they recently shot a pterodactyl, how they recently shot a saber-toothed tiger, a woolly mammoth, and a triceratops. Now, you would think that there would be at least one person who would have proclaimed that these animals were no longer around, that they were extinct. However, that was not the case. Each and every of the individuals that were there actually thought, oh, what a horrible thing that they're shooting these animals. These are such rare, beautiful creatures. How could they be doing such a thing to them? Can't fix stupid, my friends. And if people are out there that stupid that they believe these things, well, that's a bigger problem. Now, I know a lot of people are concerned about what's going to go on with this political race, how it's going to play itself out. And I think we just need to stay the course and know that there's still a lot of things that's going to take place. We're only halfway through this month. We just had a big document dump. There's still going to be some more coming from WikiLeaks. We still have the October surprise and then on into November. Okay? So anything can happen, and it probably will. Remember, when Brexit occurred, even that day that they went in, the media was showing that they were down by 10 points, that they were the underdog. There was no way, and yet they overwhelmingly won. So the people make all the difference. The people make all the difference. And just to show how anything can happen, here's a report that's coming out now that Carly Fiorina is now endorsing Donald Trump. According to senior editor of Atlantic, David Frum, and consistent with a tweet from the Washington State GOP Twitter page, former GOP presidential candidate Carly Fiorina has endorsed GOP presidential nominee Donald Trump in a tweet saying, "We must have President Trump. We can't have President Clinton." It appears that Fiorina, after months of silence, is jumping on the Trump train. All right, so anything can happen. You know why? Because people are waking up. All right, every time there's an incident that occurs, such as Hillary having a health issue in public, it pulls back the curtain on the illusion, and more people see that there's something going on that is bizarre. Something is going on that is not truthful. So as more people wake up to this reality, things will change. Carly has apparently seen enough to understand that she cannot be part of this illusion and this lie. And she needs to support the truthfulness because she has a family. She wants to protect her family. And she must be concerned about what happens if Hillary gets in office. If Hillary gets in office and gets sick or maybe even dies, then we get the next guy, Tim Kaine. We don't know anything about this guy other than he used to be the DNC chairman. In case you didn't know, Tim Kaine was the DNC chairman. He was the DNC chairman before Deborah Wasserman Schultz. And then he stepped down and put her in that position so that she then could do her part to get Hillary the nomination. Once she got the nomination, she then left and came about because of all of these emails that came out, but then she got hired by Hillary. And Tim Kaine, having done his part, was rewarded by being the vice presidential candidate. Even though he had a horrible track record there in Virginia, he has been awarded with that opportunity to be the vice president. Why? Because he played ball and did his part. He stepped down so Debbie Wasserman Schultz could get in, and then Debbie Wasserman Schultz helped Hillary get nominated, so now he gets to move up in his next position as well. People are waking up to see these things. That's good. We need to keep waking up. We need to pay attention to what's happening around us. Okay? So as we move on, this is the idea. We want to pay attention to what's going on around us, and we want to listen to what the universe is telling us. Here's an article which speaks exactly to this. Okay, this article here, 12 signs that we are receiving guidance from the universe. We get all kinds of signs from the universe daily, yet decoding them and applying them to our everyday lives is a bit more of a challenge. The tricky thing is that we may not recognize the guidance at first. It may be totally unnoticeable, or even if you do notice it, it's easy to discredit it as only a coincidence. The universe doesn't leave you and your stubbornness out to dry, though ignore the first signs and the universe will persist and get more obvious. It might come in form of physical symptoms or occurrences that shove you out of your comfort zone. So pay attention when you notice these following. And I know that we've all had these experiences which let us know that we're moving in the right direction or there's some information we need to pay attention to. Occurrences that we might call coincidences, except that the timing is too perfect. Dreams that offer us messages or suggestions. Books or blog posts that speak directly to where we are in our life. Physical symptoms that signal something deeper, like back pain when you're carrying the weight of the world on your back. Roadblocks for your current path. If sometimes it seems much harder than it should, it may be a sign that we're supposed to take a fork in the road. Messages that arise during meditation, gut feelings or instincts that we can't ignore. Something someone says that cuts right to the core of what we're about. A sense of inner knowing that something is true even though it feels completely crazy, implausible, or unachievable. Song lyrics that pop up over and over again. Answers to prayer that direct our path. And people that we attract who share a calling and our guide the way or share the path with us. The universe doesn't always speak clearly. Sometimes they're garbled, not necessarily because the universe doesn't know how to deliver clear messages, but more likely because only half are listening. You could tell when the universe is trying to communicate. Strange coincidences happen, serendipities around us, books fall as if by accident, dreams appear, they're confusing. They don't answer the question directly, but we still have a choice. No matter what the universe says or does, you can be smacked in the face with the answers, you can still decide not to listen. Free will is a funny thing when it comes from spiritual guidance, but we don't have to follow the guidance. We may either fail to observe the signs or ignore the signs. Okay, we can ask for guidance around us to help us understand. And then, of course, don't forget to say thank you, which is very important. Okay, the universe loves gratitude, and by being grateful and thankful, the universe will bring more things to us. So it's very, very important. Again, it's part of the wake up process. Waking up to understand what is taking place around us, paying attention to the signs around us. Okay? When we have a situation like we have with the candidate, we're seeing many signs. These signs are coming forward in the form of hacked emails, which are very direct signs showing us collusion, corruption, lies. We see the physical situation of Hillary, which is deteriorating before our eyes. And my guess is if she's still out there and if she's still coming forward, she's going to have more of these incidents, and we're going to see some more because she is not a healthy person. She has physical problems, and these physical problems will only continue to get worse. You can't sweep them under the rug. So it's just a matter of time till we see more of what's going on with her. And we just have to trust the process that is happening. We have to trust what is unfolding. We have to keep waking up. And if we're awake, we have to wake others up. And we have to keep doing it. And we have to keep trying. And we have to not be discouraged. And if we feel discouraged, talk to somebody that isn't discouraged. Because there's strength in numbers. And believe me, there's plenty of us that want to wake up. that want to be on the right path, that want to know what's going on. There's more of us that are awake than there are of those that are asleep. So we just need to keep waking each other up. That's all we have to do. All right, we're going to do our meditation. Before we do, I want to bring this up. I'm going to bring this up more on a regular basis because this is a very significant chart. This is the chart over at the Builders of the Atom Pattern on the Trestle board, Truth About the Self. I'm just going to read through the list here. Let this sink in as we do our meditation. Okay. All the power that ever was or will be is here now. I am a center of expression for the primal will to good which eternally creates and sustains the universe. Through me, its unfailing wisdom takes form in thought and word. Filled with understanding of its perfect law, I am guided moment by moment along the path of liberation. From the exhaustless riches of its limitless substance, I draw all things needful, both spiritual and material. I recognize the manifestation of the undeviating justice in all the circumstances of my life. In all things great and small, I see the beauty of the divine expression. Living from that will, supported by its unfailing wisdom and understanding, mine is the victorious life. I look forward with confidence to the perfect realization of the eternal splendor of the limitless light. In thought and word and deed, I rest my life from day to day upon the sure foundation of eternal being. The kingdom of spirit is embodied in my flesh. Just go ahead and take a deep breath. Exhale. Take another breath. And exhale again. And another breath. And exhale. Now, that our mind is open and receptive, let's go over this again and just listen to the words and allow them to sink into your subconscious, to that place where you truly understand. All the power that ever was or will be is here now. I am the center of expression for the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe. Through me, its unfailing wisdom takes form in thought, in word. Filled with understanding of its perfect law, I am guided moment by moment along the path of liberation. From the exhaustless riches of its limitless substance, I draw all things needful, both spiritual and material. I recognize the manifestation of the undeviating justice in all the circumstances of my life. In all things great and small, I see the beauty of the divine expression. Living from that will, supported by its unfailing wisdom and understanding, mine is the victorious life. I look forward with confidence to the perfect realization of the eternal splendor of the limitless light. In thought, in word and deed, I rest my life from day to day upon the sure foundation of eternal being. The kingdom of spirit is embodied in my flesh. So let those words just reverberate through you. Let your higher self connect you to the understandings of these words. To understand the truth that each one of them means in your life. To understand the truth. And as we do, we understand that we are guided moment by moment through life. And as we pay attention to what the universe is teaching us, what it's saying to us, we find ourselves awakening to the truth. So let's imagine ourselves paying attention completely to what the universe is saying to us as we move through the world today. Let's imagine ourselves walking along the path and listening to the air as it moves around us, listening to the messages of the sun that shines upon us, listening to the earth as we move upon it, and listening to the water that flows around us. And let us just imagine that everything that we do today is an opportunity for us to understand a bit more of the messages that the universe is sending to us. And as we hear these messages, feel these messages, experience these messages, we find ourselves moving through life with a bit more ease and grace, because we understand that we are guided each and every step, each and every moment, an opportunity to wake up, to see past the illusion to the truth. Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, thank you for the blessings of this day, the days of the past and the days of the future. Thank us for you for the opportunity to see past the illusions of life. We are grateful for the opportunity to make the decisions and choices that we make using the free will which we have been granted. And we pray that we use this free will to free ourselves up from all of the chains that shackle us and keep us connected to the illusion. So let our subconscious mind continue on the journey, moving through life, seeing past the illusion by listening to all of the messages presented to us in everything we do and everything we see this day. So let the subconscious mind continue on, and let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is the show for today. Just remember, there's always an opportunity for us to be able to see past the illusions that are around us. We can see and we're aware that they're there. Not everybody is aware, so we need to keep waking them up, keep reminding people. Because once people wake up, they'll be very grateful to know that they are awake. You know the feeling how when you finally see something and then you want to kick yourself for not seeing it sooner? There's a lot of people caught up in this illusion. We know who they are, we understand, because the illusion is very strong. The darkness, the forces that are manipulating this illusion are very strong. But they're not as strong as the God force that allows us to see past these illusions. And all we have to do is tap into that. And since we're all connected to this field of energy, the more positive ideas and thoughts we put into this field of energy, the more positive thoughts are available for those who are caught up so that eventually they can be freed up as well. So let's keep sending out the positive vibes, my friend. Keep sending out the love. Keep sending out the light, because it makes a difference. It truly does. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. Till then, I love you. Keep loving each other, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.